Okay, when you're ready, first question, please. Sam?
Yeah, and what do you make of that game, and what did you kind of feel the decisions that kind of went against you in the second half as well?
Firstly, in some game of rugby, if I speak about our team first, I thought we started this game incredibly well. We planned for a fast start because specifically against Leinster, if you fall behind, it's very difficult to come back, specifically the way they defend. So I thought we started the game really, really well. Conceded the yellow card at the back end of the first half, and we made a call to remain positive, and I scored. That was a fantastic try that we just scored before half time. And going in 21-19, I thought we handled the first few minutes well until we got 15 on 15, and yeah, look, to concede a scrum penalty in the middle of the pitch for a red card, certainly the first that I've had in my time, and look, that's the way the referee saw it. And then RG came onto the pitch. You all know how highly I rate him as a player. Somebody that I signed at Munster, and he's now at Leinster, and I thought he was phenomenal. And then the game as a whole, Leinster are a very good side. You can see why they've got 23 out of the, however, 36 guys in the Irish national team, and adding Slimani and Geordie and RG to that team, phenomenal team. And yeah, disappointed because we came here to win, but extremely proud of the fact that we've got absolutely no regret in the change room. So glad to give Joe Cognacina his 100th cap. And that's the thing about rugby. You're involved in phenomenal games of rugby, and it didn't go away tonight.
What was your initial reaction to the red card being kind of dished out, and what was the players' reaction now you've spoken to them?
Oh, look, I won't comment on the tackle. All I would say is not so much from this game, but I hope we as rugby can figure out what we want from headshots, and if we can just get consistency, irrespective if the referee, well, I'll stick by his decision tonight. That's his decision, and I've never been one to criticise referees. So Luke made the decision, and we'll stand by his decision. I think what would be brilliant for us as rugby as a whole, if we can decide what do we see as a red card, a yellow card, a penalty, and a rugby incident. About the second yellow card, as I said, that was an interesting call in the middle of the pitch. And look, that's Stefan Beno. We'll all stand by him to get red carded in that way. And then look. Again, if I look factually, it's very difficult to contain Leinster when you've got 14 and they've got 15. We scrambled well. We had one or two opportunities in that second half, but ultimately they were just too good.
And final one from me. Did you know the other scores of the other games as the game was going through, and you were kind of calculating it? And
yeah.
How did those messages get onto the field?
Yeah. I watched the back end of the Bristol and Claremont game, some finish in that game, and obviously focused on our game. At halftime, I had a quick look at what's happening in the Benetton La Rochelle game. But look, ultimately, the last 10 minutes didn't allow us to do something different. As I said, if you want to play against Leinster from an attacking point of view, with 14 men, not on your terms, they are just too good, and that they'll give to them. They're a phenomenal side.
Johann, when you had 15 players rather, you did cause them a lot of trouble, which you haven't seen a lot of this season. What did you see in their defence that gave you hope, or they chased?
Mary, obviously, first thing I'll say is Jacques is an incredible defensive coach. What he's done with firstly the Stormers way back from whatever it was 2008 onwards, and then with the Springboks, the way they defend, they put skill set under pressure. Jonesy obviously involved in that as well. So it forces your attack to make decisions pretty quickly. we saw some natural space on the edges. I thought our first try was a great example of it. If you get quick ball and you've got a 9 and 10 that can shift the ball pretty quickly, I thought we planned that in a week and we created some good space. And then again, Tom de Glanville's try, we moved the ball into space pretty quickly, and Ollie had a one-on-one and got the ball away. So with every defence and attack, there's positives and negatives. They catch up incredibly well from the inside. So again, you've got to give it to them. So yeah, look, we saw some opportunities. I thought we created some good chances. We scored some phenomenal tries. But again, if you're not 15 on the pitch, you need that one extra number and that bit of quick ball. But yeah, Jark's defence at Leinster is phenomenal.
Just on Archea, sorry about the pronunciation. You probably would like to use him a lot more when you're at Munster. He was injured a lot. But how does it change the game when he comes on?
Look, well documented. The two of us come back a long way from when I started coaching him at school, and he's got this ability to get the ball away. He's got incredible hands and a natural feeling for the game, not to speak about his size and his hitting and his poaching and his line out. But he kind of makes something happen out of nothing, and he pulls 3, 4, 5 defenders in around him, and I thought he was on fire tonight, and that's why I believe he's one of the best players in the world. And he got injured when I was with Munster in the first 7 minutes against Leinster, and he really did his ACL against the Scarlets. But I think people around the world are only starting to see how good he is now, and fair play to Leinster for getting him, and how good is it from his side. He's got form, so he'll make a big difference for the rest of the season for Leinster. Can't speak highly enough of him, really.
Johann, in terms of the space that you had sort of identified out wide, how much of that do you think was down to the fact that they were playing two centres on the wing, two guys who were starting more comfortable in the field?
Again, not that much. Obviously, I haven't watched the game in depth again, but Ringer is such a good defender, whether it's at 13 or on the wing. So I didn't really think that had a big difference. We didn't change our plan specifically. We noted that yesterday afternoon when he was picked. But they pick their numbers, who goes for who, and then they go flat out, and they're 100% in. There's no backing out of it. So you can put them under pressure if you make the right decisions. And look, Finn is phenomenal in terms of getting the ball into space. I thought Ben got quick ball, moved it to space, and then Finn's passing accuracy. Look, that's why in my view he's one of the best 10s in the world. And his decision making, when to run, when to kick, when to pass is pretty special. And since he's joined us as Bath, that's been one of the big differences. So that's why I think it was two very good teams having a go at each other. Some of our players played really, really well tonight. I thought Ross Maloney had a good return to the Aviva, and what was nice to me is when he came off the pitch, how the Leinster crowd gave him a standing ovation. I thought Ollie Lawrence was pretty special tonight. But look, all 23 of our guys gave it their all. You just come up against a very good side.
I was going to say that, how much confidence would you take, though, from the questions that you were able to pose and the tries you have scored going forward in the Premiership?
Oh, massive confidence. I think we had this exact type of game last season against Toulouse. We were 19 all at 60 minutes, pretty much the same picture in the game. So we know that we can compete. But when you play away from home against the big boys, Toulouse, Leinster that played in the final last season, you need to have 15 players on the pitch. You need to be at your best, and you need to take your chances. And I felt 5 yards away from the trial, and we left 2 chances out there, potentially going ahead again in that second half. But no, our group's in a great place. We were disappointed in the change room, but we said we're going to have our heads held high when we walk in, and we certainly have our heads held high when we walk out of here. And look, from an English point of view, how we've reshaped the club, on the 18s on a great place, something that we've never been at an 18 level. Bath, Uni, Prem Cup, we are in a very good space. Premiership, we're in a good space. So we are slowly getting better and better, and we're on this journey, and look, we're absolutely loving it. That's why we've never put an end date onto when we'll get there, but I think the evidence has been for the last 2.5 years that we're getting better, and that's all that I can ask for from a staff and a player point of view.
There were a number of key moments, but just early on when you got ahead, was the timing of losing Finn Russell from pitch for 10 minutes particularly damaging in the sense that he's kind of your leader?
Yeah, again, I haven't looked at all the detail, but in that first few minutes, two of the mouth guards went off pretty quickly, Tom de Glanville and Finn Russell, and then in that second half again simultaneously Charlie Hughes and Max Ajomos. It was kind of a strange game and how many guys we had off the pitch and then back on the pitch. And look, at the back end of the game I had to make some calls in terms of blood on Rory McConaughey, and you know, you're just under pressure. So yes, it could have had an influence, but not something that we flagged at half time. I felt we were in a very good place in half time. I felt we were in a very good place on 60 minutes. But yeah, well done to Leinster.
Would you expect the referee to have a word with Ben Spicer and say, you do realise that there's a yellow card here? There's a yellow card here and he's in danger of a red card. The referee's entitled to do that. But he did was by the letter of the law, but would you expect him to flag it with your captain beforehand?
I wouldn't expect anything from a referee. Like I said, looks a very good referee. I thought Ben handled him well. There was an incident in the first half when there were water carriers from both teams on the pitch. We were in a circle and then Leinster took a quick tap. To be fair, Ben went to him and, you know, the two of them had a discussion. But look, I will follow the official channels as we do every single week. I'll stand by the referee's decisions. I think all of us across the rugby will just need to get aligned as to what we do forward with our game, because we're all involved in a beautiful game. We just want consistency right across the rugby world, in my view.
Can I ask the ball again, please?
Yeah,
Jerry.
what do you think can be done by rugby, World Rugby, to bring more consistency with issues that maybe happen in the game, especially with Benno's first tackle as well?
Yeah, look, I'm not a controversial coach, so we are all participating in an amazing game, and I think the mistake we make sometimes, it's kind of like coaches and players against the referees, and we're all in this game together. The referees have got such a difficult bit. I would say let's stop changing the laws every 6 months. Let's get a unified game and let's all pull in the same direction for the world of rugby, because days like today, like we all want to be part of it. If you look at how good the World Cup was, how good is the URC, the French top 14, the Premiership. You know, so we all just want the same thing. So we're not on different sides. We all want the best for this game of ours. And look, specifically from an English point of view, there's been so much negative press about club going down, and we've got an amazing game, and we've got to look after it. We all have got to look after it.
And just quickly, next week, Saili, we spoke about last week about having some thinking about players, choosing players. What are you looking towards for next week with players going to England and some staying?
Now look, we lose our English players, which is the same for all clubs. We'll get our Scottish players back on Friday. But we took some big hits, so we've got quite a lot of blood. We've got obviously all of the HIAs that I've got to go and get clarity from. But look, it's Saturday now. We play in 8 days' time. We as a group will get back on Tuesday and then Wednesday and take our time. And like I said, this isn't a season-defining game for us. We love the occasion. We gave Leinster the respect that they deserve, because they are a phenomenal team. And we love this competition, and look, we just want to keep getting better.
Johann, forgive the Leinster-centric question, but as you know, they've reached 3 successive finals, which even some Leinster supporters regard as failure. I'm sure you don't agree with that, number one, but do you think that the arrival of Rabbit Slimani, Geordie Barra and Orgy Slime gives them a better chance of going one better this season?
Yeah, I certainly do. You know, I've chosen to speak about our club and how we've done, but Jerry, to answer your question directly, you know, in my view, Leinster is in terms of the pipeline the best in world rugby. What they've done with their school systems, getting aligned into the academy. I mean, if you just think about it, 23 players going to the Six Nations from this team, and then if you add some of the best players in the world, I mean, Slimani, he hasn't played, I think, for the French in 5.5 years, and all of a sudden he's back in the French picture. I don't need to say anything more about Argia. And then Jordy Barrett is one of the best in the world. So, yeah, they are a phenomenal team. They've played in the last 3 Champions Cup finals. They're unbeaten in the URC. So, yeah, they definitely can win it. I have to say this from our team. Last season, we went toe-to-toe with Toulouse for 70. Tonight, I believe we went toe-to-toe with Leinster for 60 until we conceded that red card. So it's also about us and where we've come from, and hopefully in time we'll get there. I've got the utmost belief in what we are doing as a club, and we've got some phenomenal players and coaches, and backed by our owner on our board, and we're on an amazing journey. And I think we welcome days like today because we'll learn a bit more from ourselves, and yeah, we've got a long road ahead in the season. So yeah, we're disappointed with today, but yeah, extremely proud.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you, everybody.